Joe is on the extreme left. He had the proud honour of refereeing last year's All-Ireland Club Final, Dublin beating Kerry. This is first MacRory Cup Final. The standby referee is Kieran Brannigan of Down, immediately beside him, and the Paddy Hughes runs the other. And there's the Maghera. Maghera. They were all doing the bouncy a few minutes ago. 29 of the bus load. That's Martin McConnell barking out the instructions. By the way, there are twins today in St Michael's, Enniskillen. We know the first identical twins we think of to play in this. He has his little twins on the bench today with wife. And we will take a look at them just a little later. Oisin, before I bring you in the twins, because I know you play with the Macs, we will now go to Aaron Navian.
Shir fasta niag far fwyn shiron of fwyn troel anog da him sabar na bwyl lygan og elchan bash no sil lygan asgwriach fwy lofog na bile
The Cullen boys were belting it out. It now will come down to hunger, fitness, preparation. St Pat's, by the way, won the toss and will play right to left. Joe McQuillan, match official from Cavan, with a few late handshakes. Interestingly, both the midfield partnership today for St Michael's, Rory Brennan and Ryan Hyde, have played in opposition. Rory Brennan of Trillick. We're looking there at Brian McAleer. So Rory Brennan, Ryan Hyde, 8 and 9 in the maroon and blue, St Michael's. There he is, big Master Hyde. I asked him during the week, had he a nickname? He said, I'm 6'5", they call me Dinosaur, but please call me T-Rex. So there you have it, the first T-Rex in the MacRory Cup Final. Oisin, just waiting. It'll be nerves. You want to get on with it?
Yeah, there is nerves, and there's a few changes. You see Conor McAtamney, from Maghera has gone to centre half forward. Maybe that'll just be for the throw-in. Number 10, James Kearney, has gone to the middle of the field.
Okay, the BT 2012 MacRory Cup Final is about to get underway. Joe McQuillan has the ball at his foot. Up they go. A big Hyde, the man who referred to himself as T-Rex, wins it. You were pointing up that Brian McAleer, named at full forward, started out in midfield, and Enniskillen come in the first meaningful attack, or I should say Maghera come in the first meaningful attack. That's a shot off the boot of Neil McNichol, and Neil McNichol from the Glenullen club sticks it wide. He was right to have a pop, Washington.
Well, the early signals are they're going to let the ball into the full forward lane. They're playing with a slight breeze in the first half, so I think that's probably a good enough tactic to let it in. Maghera actually looked a lot bigger, in their full forward lane than the Enniskillen full back lane, so they might probably let it in that little bit earlier today.
Part of the one half of there was Sean Marty Lockhart and Martin McConnell, the joint management, again from the kick out. It's been won by Pat Smara, punted into the corner off the boot of Brendan Rogers. That was first touch for Kevin McDonald. Little corner back, foraging forward was Owen Hamill, and Owen Hamill laid it off to Lee Cullen. Lee Cullen's gone to ground, taken quickly by Eddie Courtney. Courtney very much the live wire in the front sextet. Maghera fullback, and they filter quietly through the hands. Ball off the boot of Conor McAtamney straight to his opposite number, Rory Brennan, giving it into the corner now. Looking for the first free was little Tommy McCaffrey. He's surrounded and hounded, but has done well to keep it under control, and Joe McQuillan blowing him up. Well, fair enough decision, Oisin.
Well, I actually thought it was harsh enough. I always favour the forwards anyway.
Well, understandably. Minute and a half, almost 2 minutes gone in this 2012 MacRory Cup Final. We await the opening score. They've met only once this year, and that was a challenge game when it ended the draw. This is Brennan, the captain, Rory Brennan. Giving it outside to Conor Murphy. Murphy again. Well, this time he has blown, and this will be a first opportunity for the first score of this 2012 final. Oisin, take another look at it.
Yeah, I thought he was very direct, Conor Murphy there, and in fairness, he was dragged down. He probably deserved the free, and it's a good opportunity for Enniskillen to get off the mark, especially against the wind. And it's probably not the most difficult free in the world, and it's usually famous last words. But
Eddie Courtney, then his dad Philip was part of the 82 Fermanagh team in the Ulster final, and Eddie Courtney has the distinction and honour of opening the scoring in the 2012 MacRory Cup.
Yeah, and that's a great effort, because that'll steady Enniskillen, it'll steady Eddie Courtney nice and early, and it's a lovely free to get.
Yeah, and I can tell you how difficult they are to land, Oisin. I saw you miss one in Croke Park like that on Saturday.
That's true. I was waiting for you to remind me of that.
Okay, Dom Corrigan, 7th final. What a servant he has been to Fermanagh and St Michael's. Kick out taken by Sean McNichol. Oh, they both rise, and it was batted down in the middle by Conor McAtamney. It's off the boot now of Cormac O'Doherty. O'Doherty's ball is looking for Paul Gunning. Gunning beaten to it. Lee Cullen lays it off, and St Michael's again. Oh, that was just a little bit high. Did well to control it, did Kevin MacDonald. And MacDonald now sees it into the path of Lee Cullen, one of the twins, giving it off to Owen Hamill. Hamill has support from Niall Beggan. Niall Beggan's ball into the corner, asking a lot. Then I think there's a little bit of holding going on there between corner forward and corner back. And in the end, whistle sounds, and Tommy McCaffrey has won the free.
And Enniskillen seemed to have settled that little bit better in the early stages. I think Lee Cullen seems to be driving them on from the half-back line. Looks very impressive so far to me.
Yeah, and Oisin Hegarty there, clear grasp of the shirt. So this to be taken by Liam Martin. Liam Martin, back outside of him is the corner back, Kevin MacDonald. Kevin MacDonald, patient in the build-up. He's going to have a punch off the boot of Niall Beggan, and well,
maybe a little bit ambitious, but it's probably worth a strike. I mean, they've gone from a free kick in the corner, brought it back out to the middle of the field, and they've walked an opportunity. He's probably entitled to have a shot, just unfortunately went slightly wide.
Second consecutive final here in the athletic grounds of Armagh, and nice tight shot of that ball. Again, it comes down this commentary box side, and oh, well won in there. Well won indeed by little Niall Maguire. Man they call Skinner. He will leave it. It's going to be taken by Eddie Courtney. Courtney, good ball. That's done too quickly. They've men on the overlap. Thought about the shot himself, did Niall Beggan. Beggan now gives it outside to his captain and gets a second snap at it, does Rory Brennan, and it's gone wide. Tigerish enough tackling from Maghera.
Yeah, it was good football right up until that, but as you say, Maghera closed him down well, got a good block in, and forced the shot off his left foot, and he didn't look too comfortable on it. So yeah, but good football from both teams.
And that may be why Gerald Bradley was brought in. That was the block down off Bradley initially on Brennan. And just tell you for the record that at the minute our scorebar is reading St Michael's Enniskillen 2 points, should only read 1 point, but St Michael's Enniskillen 1 point with 5 minutes on the clock. So it is 1 point to no score, but we will amend that just in a second. Whistle has sounded. So Conor McAtamney, captain, third year consecutive of MacRory Cup, as they come looking for their first score. Neil McNichol has risen for it, coming in on support, corner forward. That's Stephen O'Hara, and Stephen O'Hara sticks it over the top, and they are level, and she knows it and appreciates it. A well-worked score, actually. Yeah,
it's a textbook score. Ball into the full forward. 13, Stephen O'Hara just coming off him, and a lovely score off his left foot. And I think, early signs out of Maghera are going to be very, very direct into that full forward line.
Yeah, it's drum roll time, but there's a long, long way to go. So Maghera off and running. Stephen O'Hara from the Glen club. They're backboned by the Ulster minor running side of Glen. About half of the team out on display now. This is Bradley, the late replacement. Missed the semi-final due to an ankle injury, and was outstanding in the quarter-final. A little block got on that. I think the tackle had come in from Niall Maguire. It's going to go the way of St Patrick's. Maghera looking for a 13th MacRory Cup title today. That's Conor Murphy we are looking at. Tigers players, Murphy. Now then, the sideline ball. I think whatever breeze it is that he had it, that came off the foot of Conor Murphy. Well picked up now by James Kearney. Kearney to get around Brian McAleer. Still Kearney ups to fist it, and I think it's going to tail wide. Has tailed wide. Maybe nerves, Oisin, or maybe just a little hurried.
Yeah, maybe nerves, maybe a little bit hurried. But I think, you know, once you come in along the end line, you know, you probably only have one option, only to try and fist it over the bar. I think, you know, in fairness to Maghera, you know, they've really settled now as well, and you know, both teams are in the game, and it's just, you know, it's right there for both teams. Whoever wants it that little bit more, maybe.
Yeah, someone's getting a licking today. It might be level on the field, but. It's a lovely lolly. Oh, and that is a lovely fetcher. This guy's from Niall Began, and as I say that, they've coughed up possession. Neat little tackle in there. The much more hungry was Ryan Dugan. Dugan now sees it with James Kearney to his captain Conor McAtamney. Good move in that full forward line. It's going to spill candy for Paul Gunning. And Gunning. Why didn't he catch that? I mean, that was just.
I know what Sean Marty's going to be saying.
He was just a little bit. He was trying to be too nice.
He should have bent it. He should have bent his back. But in the middle of the field, you know, you see. I think we had maybe 5-6 dispossessions in the space of 10 seconds. The tackling was absolutely brilliant in there. The hunger of these two teams is unreal.
Fine example of fielding from Cormac O'Doherty. Martin McConnell, Sean Marty Lockhart. Martin McConnell, his brother, actually is supporting the opposite team today. His brother, a priest for a decade in St Michael's, so a divided household, as we often get. Brother Noel in the crowd. St Michael's with the free. They've hung it up looking for Courtney to come for it. Courtney has lost out to Martin McCluskey. McCluskey's ball down the right flank towards a very populated stand side, won by Ryan Dugan. Dugan now giving it back to Martin McCluskey. Good meaningful penetrative attack from Maghera, and the captain lays it off now to Conor Murphy. Almost, it's gone wide, Oisin, but a move like that deserved a score. It was really scintillating football, not unlike Crossmaglen.
And that all came from, you know, that's a strong run from Conor McAtamney down the middle, and unfortunately Conor Murphy just wide in the end. But that all came from Martin McCluskey breaking off a ball in his own full back line, and he didn't just stop. He wasn't happy with just breaking the play up. He went and he got the ball twice in that attack, and they were unlucky with the finish.
That was Cormac O'Doherty in caricature we had a look at there. Maghera. 10 gone, 1 point apiece. Not high scoring. This is the twin. He says you can tell them apart because he's Lee, that is. He's better with the women. Laid off by Niall Maguire. Well won. Liam Martin. And the shot was a little bit tame. I think the intended target was Tommy McCaffrey. It has been won by Sean McNichol. McNichol wants and gets assistance. It's now with Ryan Dugan, and they will filter it short. Cormac O'Doherty checked back to a centre half, Conor Carville. Another Glen man, Conor Carville to Conor Murphy. Often given, and down into the corner. Stephen O'Hara to stretch the legs. Stephen O'Hara, well enough marshalled by Shea Cullen. The score still 1 point apiece. Well got to by Rory Brennan. The St Michael's captain Brennan has continued his run. He will run and run all day, this lad. He had a great semi-final, got the goal. I think that was a little bit high from Martin McCluskey, and Joe McQuillan happy enough to he's taken a tick. Just watch here. Yeah, you know, Oisin, like he didn't take a booking for a yellow card there, but that was a raised fist, and you don't want to I'll bring you in a second. We will get another look at it. Meantime, let's stay with the play. This is Ryan Dugan playing very deep. And it's been kept in. Dugan did well to James Kearney. Kearney away from his marker. Solid in the solo. And now to Neil McNichol. McNichol confronted by Niall Shannon. McNichol has gone round him. Shannon has seen him go to ground. Joe McQuillan has sounded his whistle, and that'll be a free.
Neil McNichol looks like somebody, you know, who can cause Enniskillen a lot of bother. He's very, very direct when he gets the ball. All he thinks about is going straight for goal.
Should this have been? Look, now I'm thinking of Stephen Kernan missing out on an All-Ireland final. I know this is the biggest day of the year, and I'm glad that no one was sent off. But we are on the blind side. But certainly the hand was raised there. Also. Yeah,
it was, and you know he's probably lucky he got away without a yellow card.
Yeah. 12 minutes gone. We are having difficulty with our score bar, folks. Do apologise for that. It is 1 point apiece. This would put St Pat's Maghera into the lead. Where to land this one? I think he's slightly into the breeze. The crowd's getting behind him. Stephen O'Hara, who was looking for his second and Maghera's second, and he's got it. Benefit Oisin of a free taker, and he's very composed, isn't he?
Yeah, and I think that's another one that that gets him that gets him nice and settled. He's with the wind, and an excellent score. And I think as I say, that came from a very direct play from Neil McNichol.
Of course, this part one of a double header. We will also be bringing you Rugby Schools Cup Final from Ravenhill in the company of Jim Neely and co. Methodist College entertaining Ballyclare High, I think, in a final for the first time since 1973. Meantime, it's St Michael's Enniskillen 1 point, St Patrick's Armagh 2 points. Patrick Armagh again in possession through James Kearney. Kearney punts up a high when Neil McNichol surely will not get on to the end of that. And
lucky, I think, right idea. I think, get it into the area, because he's got a lot of room in front of them goals, Neil McNichol. And I think if they can get it into that area, obviously that wasn't the best ball in the world, but I think if they can get it in that little bit sharper, that little bit neater into him, then he can do damage.
Paddy Sweeney, 6 years he has been the sub-keeper in the school. This year he's made the jersey his own. Outstanding quarter-final, outstanding semi-final, and Maghera piling on the pressure. Full back and full forward come and tussle. The Cullen twin in possession, giving it down to Niall Maguire. Niall Maguire just physically edged out of it. Cormac O'Doherty's ball is a good one. Hand passes from Murphy. Oh, this is better football for Maghera. Could be in for a goal. It's their late replacement, and that's the reason Gerald Bradley was given the nod in the start. A neat little passage of play. Oisin, first goal of the final, and for the record, he becomes the first Maghera man to score a goal in a MacRory Cup final since Michael Friel of Swatra, and a well-taken goal it was.
It was, yeah, and it was just, they drew the extra man the whole way down the field, and a textbook finish. He's seen the keeper coming out, and he slid it to the other side of him. So, it's a crucial goal at a crucial stage in the game.
Yeah, and he's played in every game they've had this year, but bar the missing out in the semi-final because of injury. So that's confirmation of the scores. St Michael's now 1 point. St Pat's Maghera 1 goal and 2 points. High ball coming in. Keeper must come and does, and had it, lost it. It's now with Niall Beggan. Beggan giving it back outside of him is Liam Martin. Liam Martin's shot is weak, plucked out of the sky from underneath the bar. Enniskillen at the minute just finding it difficult to get the radar. This is Ryan Dugan. Needing a little bit of movement ahead and was forced to check inside. Been held up by Ryan Hyde. Still Dugan close to that sideline on the stand side, and it's punted high and got to by now Shannon. Well watched by Shannon. Midpoint of this opening half, 15 gone. St Michael's Enniskillen with that solitary score. This is Shea Cullen. Shea Cullen, surely that was a free. I think the whistle has gone. Joe McQuillan has sounded it, and Shea Cullen seemed to pick up a little knock to the kidney perhaps there, but they just need to compose themselves, St Michael's.
That's it. They had an opportunity to get themselves back into the game with a handy score, and just it fell short in the keeper's hands. But I think on this occasion he might have just got trampled on a little bit, but I think it might have been just purely accidental. But it's a sore one when you get the one there.
Yeah, I think it was the momentum from Stephen O'Hara who kind of gave him a little dunt in the back, but nothing sinister about it. Shea Cullen. His mum Mary, who's a teacher in Ballinalec, in the crowd today, along with dad Bernard. Says one of the benefits of being an identical twin is that very often he's picked up by the wrong man. This has been picked up by Brendan Rodgers. Look for Conor Murphy. Spills kindly for St Michael's and shipped a nice tackle, did Conor Murphy. Strong on the ball. Now this is the twin, Shea Cullen. He just cannot work an opening, as I say that. He has prized an opening now, Beggan, and it's badly needed demand from Rosslea. We heard from Peter McGinnity before the game. That's one for McGinnity's old club, and that's one for Enniskillen. That was well taken because he's under a lot of pressure.
Exactly, and he showed good leadership. He wasn't shirking responsibility. He had a go and stuck it between the posts, and I think that's exactly what Enniskillen needed at this stage.
Perfect footballer, from what I'm told, is the perfect student. He's studying 4 A levels: biology, chemistry, physics and maths. So Neat football from a man who's probably destined for big things academically. This has been picked up by Niall Maguire. Maguire wants and gets support from Brian McAleer. McAleer now outside him to Courtney. Better football. Courtney hither and thither and off the radar and wide, and he knows it.
Good football though, you know, they're winning the ball in the middle of the field again. I think, you know, in fairness to Maghera, you know, they're very, very tight when they get in there. When Enniskillen get the ball into the forward line, the Maghera marking is very, very good, and not just forced them wide and forced Eddie just to knock that wide.
Sean McNichol to kick this kick out. Ciar McLaren is the other keeper. They've been rotated right throughout the year, right up until the quarter final, and then Sean McNichol made the jersey his in the semi and has retained it for the final. It's James Kearney who's in position, and here's the whistle go again. I thought he had it in the hands, but it's Cullen. Niall Maguire. Well, it was a high tackle on Owen Hamill. I think it was from Cormac O'Doherty. So this will be a free for Enniskillen to be taken by Brian McAleer. He's the man who has been goalkeeper for all of 6 years, but now flourishing outfield. Ryan Hyde, dual player, hurler, footballer, and he picked it off the ground, Oisín, something you would never have done unless it was in Croke Park and he scored goals.
If you can get away with it, you can get away with it, Mark.
Yeah, I know. I remember that day. You were so quick you caught out the referee, the linesman and the commentator. This is Ryan Dugan. Dugan giving it back inside to Brendan Rodgers. Rodgers has spurned the chance. He's the head boy in the college, and that's a black mark against him.
Well, that's why he's playing number 5. You know, I think, you know, it was a rush of blood to the head, but you know, you can see that Maghera are now playing with 2-man full forward line, Conor Murphy and Neil McNichol, and seems to be working for them.
Had a quick look at Martin McConnell there. He and Sean Marty Lockhart in their 4th year in charge. Dominic Corrigan has been in charge, I think, since the dinosaurs were roaming planet Earth at St Michael's Enniskillen. This is Conor Murphy. Murphy's ball. Stephen O'Hara, and O'Hara, I think he saw the defender coming at him out of the corner of his eye. Niall Beggan did just enough, Oisín. He probably should have stepped inside of him here, should he?
Well, I think he should have probably topped it over the bar. I think it's another great opportunity just to slot it over the bar. You know, gives Maghera a 4-point lead again, but unfortunately, you know, he blasted it wide.
Here's where.
And the defender probably did well too. Probably
he did. Niall Beggan was coming across him, and he probably got into that line of vision, but
he did. And that's something I noticed about both defences is, you know, whenever, you know, the shot's on, there's a lot of hassling, there's a lot of harrying, there's a lot of pressure on the kicker, and I think I'm not surprised with Maghera because they've got probably the best cornerback who ever played the game, Sean Marty Lockhart, you know, coaching away at them. So, you know, not surprised at one end, but, you know, at the other end, I think, in fairness to Enniskillen, they're equally as adept at getting the hand in.
So, I think he's back on his feet. Yes, he is. There's Martin McConnell's little twins taking a wave in, both in the crowd today. Donaghy and Kristen, along with Mum, Tracy. So not only do St Michael's have twins, Pat Maghera do too. It just so happens that they're on the bench. Sean Marty Lockhart's wife also in the crowd today, along with his little children, Nabla and Senan. Very much a family occasion. St Michael's Enniskillen 2 points. St Patrick's Maghera 1 goal and 2 points. And Niall Maguire wins the free.
He's come into the game a lot more in the last 5 minutes or so now. Maguire's causing Maghera a few problems now. So it's not just as frantic as we might have anticipated. 21 minutes played, 9 to go. One kick of a ball, albeit a goal separates them. Brian McAleer takes that one short, giving it to Courtney. Courtney with the hand pass was asking a lot of Shea Cullen. Shea Cullen manages to affect it into the path of Brian McAleer, and McAleer has just been, well, he's just been edged out of it. Good tackling back there from Stephen O'Hara. Picked up now by the captain. Captain's Conor McAtamney. McAtamney's ball to his midfield partner Ryan Dugan, although the numbers in the backs bear no resemblance. This is the man who's got the goal, which is the difference in the game. Neat ball over the top of
Well, he can't get there. Conor Murphy ahead of the keeper. Well played by Paddy Sweeney. Paddy Sweeney to mount yet another attack. I think it might be just too much on that. There is. Well, it should have favoured Cormac O'Doherty. He missed the bounce. It's now Conor Murphy who's in possession. Murphy has his captain alongside of him. And this is the captain, Brennan. Giving it now to Kevin MacDonald. Kevin MacDonald of the Liam Martin. It was back to his captain, Brennan. Outside of him is Conor Murphy. He's been jockeyed by Conor Carville. Brian McAleer. It's just a... Well, it was just the wrong option, Oisin.
Yeah, it was, yeah. And I think, you know, he had the movement inside. He probably should have popped it inside, maybe tried to go for the return. He had a very ambitious shot, especially against that wind.
About 8 minutes off this opening half remaining in this BT MacRory Cup Final. St Michael's Enniskillen, 2 points. St Patrick's Maghera, 1 goal and 2 points. St Michael's chasing a first title since 2003, and St Pat's Maghera chasing a first since 2002. And there they are. I think that might be the other way around. Well fetched in the middle, well upward was James Kearney. High ball, couldn't control it, Conor Murphy. And Shea Cullen seems to have taken a little slap to the ear. No, it was a shoulder, to be fair. It was high enough, Oisin, it was. And
yeah, I think again, you know, accidental. I think, you know, Shea's momentum probably took him into the Maghera player.
Yeah, no card. He's ticked it. Next time it would be yellow for Ryan Dugan, the vice captain. Just needs to be a little bit careful. I think that looks like a happy camp at the moment. Seen a lot of the ball as Cormac O'Doherty, and invariably using it wisely. This time filtered short. It's now with Conor Carville. About 6 minutes of this opening half remaining. Just 1 goal separates this side. This is Cormac O'Doherty. O'Doherty's ball has been kept in. Back to the goal scorer, who's looking to embellish that, and very effective footballer is Gerard Bradley. Austin.
Yeah, Gerard Bradley, you know, he looks comfortable on the ball all the time. He looks like the one player that, you know, is going to take the right option all the time. He hasn't always shot when he's got the ball, but, you know, when you popped it back out to him, you know, we've seen the shot was on, a great score over his with his right leg just over his shoulder.
Yeah, he's the go-to man, and it was Owen Hamill who was closest to him, attempting to get the block in, but as with all the ace marksmen, he was able to kind of buy himself a split second. And it's Bradley once more. Well won by Brennan, the captain. They just need a score to keep themselves in at St Michael's. That was a foul. He was being pulled back, was Liam Martin.
The referee maybe could have played advantage there. You know, Enniskillen had the ball.
Yeah, it was. There was a pull in the back, even though he got the ball on the blind side of the referee. That's Garth McKinless. McKinless is looking like he's going to go into the book. He missed the quarters in the semis, but back in today. Yeah, so he has been booked. I think that was more persistent fouling, Oisin.
Yeah, I think that's his third foul. So I think, you know, it's probably only right that he pick up a booking.
So into the final 5 minutes of this opening half. This is young master Courtney. Just not his day.
No, it's probably a little bit outside his range, but maybe right to have a go. He was unlucky. He's only a foot wide of this right hand post, but you know, in order for Enniskillen to get us back into the game, have to start, as you talk about, starting to take the right options. And I think, you know, so far, you know, it's Maghera have been taking more of the right options rather than Enniskillen.
Was a fifth wide of this opening half for St Michael's Enniskillen. Pats Maghera have landed 6 on the likes of Dermot McNichol. I think Adrian McGuckin's in the crowd today. They've many storied men, Maghera. This is Conor Carville's ball. Couldn't control it, Gerard Bradley, but he's probably been the brightest player on the park. Good running from the cornerback, Owen Hamill. Owen Hamill has support. He has support from Eddie Courtney. Courtney forced to check back inside. They've a string of players if we go across the field here. That was a terrible waste of a ball, and it was the wrong option because he had 3 men immediately outside of him. Cullen. And Cullen's continued his run as Kevin MacDonald can spot him. MacDonald instead sends it over the top, looking for Tommy McCaffrey. McCaffrey was basically muscled out of it. This is the man who's just picked up that late yellow card, Garth McKinless. McKinless's ball to Conor Murphy. Murphy diagonally. They're very good at turning defence into attack, and Oisin, I'll bring you in a second. There's another great diagonal ball, and another one plucked out of the sky by Stephen O'Hara. It will eventually spill for Brendan Rodgers. And what was that you were saying about number 5?
Yeah, I think that's the third time, you know, Maghera have had those hurried shots, but certainly when they break out of defence, you know, they break at speed, you know, to get it to the right players. The players in the full forward line, McNichol, of Murphy coming in from centre half forward, and Stephen O'Hara, who've all got good hands. Just look, that's the management team in 03, the last Maghera to win it. Paul Hughes and Dermot McNichol, and of course Ireland winner with Derry in 1993. Plenty of experience on that bench.
Yeah, and Adrian McGuckin, and worth mentioning Adrian, I think this is the first final Maghera have been in 18 that he isn't involved in. He was in 18, and there's going to be a booking here, Oisin, and that's Liam Martin from Timor.
Yeah, I think it was for a late challenge, you know, after Maghera got rid of the ball the last time in their own defence.
So, one yellow apiece. Liam Martin joins Garth McKinless in the book, and we've just about 2 minutes of this half remaining. St Michael's Enniskillen 2 points, St Patrick's Maghera 1 goal and 3 points. That goal came off the boot of the man who was named as a late replacement, Gerald Bradley, in the 12th minute, and it has been the difference in this opening half. It has not been an outstanding MacRory Cup opening 28-29 minutes. Kick out off the boot now of Big Paddy Sweeney. Maghera and St Michael's wrestle for possession. Joe McQuillan will sound the whistle. Maghera will retreat, and Michael's Enniskillen will come looking for a score as we almost near half-time. There will be 1 minute of injury time. This is Tommy McCaffrey, and Tommy McCaffrey has won the sideline. Will probably take it himself. There's not a great deal of immediacy and or movement, and again, possession being coughed up rather cheaply. This is the centre half, who's Connor Carville from Glen. Giving it down, and it did well to ride the player there, Gerald Bradley, and beaten by the bounce, but pulled back. He's a box of tricks, Oisin, isn't he? He
is, yeah, and I think, you know, that's what we see from both teams. Obviously was pretty harshly pulled back by Owen Hamill.
And Owen Hamill is, I would have thought, about to go into the book. Yep. So, second yellow for Enniskillen. Picked up by Cormac O'Doherty. O'Doherty was being chased back by Niall Maguire. Is now giving it to James Kearney. Kearney reasonably composed, going off the left. Kearney, and it's gone wide.
Yeah, unlucky, but worth a try again. But I think the one thing that sticks out for me is whenever, you know, Enniskillen go forward and they head play it into the full forward line, it's not too often that it sticks, whereas Maghera seem more physical, seem better, you know, they have better hands down there, and as I say, you know, they're able to win their own ball, and I think that's the difference between the teams so far.
Yeah, you don't like being hard on college students either, Oisin, but it's not high in quality, and you know, there's only a half gone, and I don't fault them for that, because the occasion can sometimes get you, and it won't matter a jot to whichever side wins here. But I suppose we've seen so many classics through the years, we've come to expect them.
And that's true, and I think, you know, in fairness to both teams, they probably will settle at half-time to realise that, you know, at the end of this, it's just another game of football.
Stephen O'Hara in possession. Conor McAtamney, great run off the shoulder at Shea Cullen, who's back at him, and Shea Cullen has done enough to get up alongside him and done enough to put him off his stride. And
yeah,
Shea Cullen again, and that is wide number 9 for Pats Maghera, and one smiles, one worries.
Shea Cullen did well. It was a great run from Conor McAtamney. He's probably unlucky.
Yeah, good run.
But in fairness to Shea Cullen, he did well to get back. He got a hand in. You know, he got a little bit of help from his teammate Niall Shannon. Yeah, and between Shannon and Cullen, he did enough. I think it's big Ryan Hyde who's won that in the middle. Yes, it is. I think we've just gone into that minute added on as well. This is Courtney. Courtney being well marshalled, although he couldn't hold on to it there, the fullback Martin McCluskey. And yeah, that's the half-time whistle. Not high on talking points, but there's the highlight of that first half, that Gerald Bradley goal. He also weighed in with a point. He's been the difference, Oisin. Yeah, I think he has. I think, you know, he's shown a huge amount of quality. I think it's no surprise he's been put in there from the start. And as I say, he looks the most composed on the ball, and whenever they need a score, they seem to look to him. But in fairness to the forward line, you know, it seems to be probably moving that little bit better than Enniskillen, and you know, whereas Enniskillen won't be panicking, to play with a breeze in the second half, so that might help them.
And Dominic Corrigan rather astutely keeping his team just out. They will now filter through half-time here in this BT MacRory Cup's final. St Michael's Enniskillen 2 points, St Pat's Maghera 1-3.
Still to come on BBC Two this afternoon, we have Rugby Schools Cup Final between Methodist College Belfast and Ballyclare High School. We'll be live to Ravenhill at about 2:45 here on 2 this afternoon. Stay with us for that. But here in Armagh, Martin McHugh is here with me to reflect on the first half of Gaelic football's MacRory Cup Final. And Martin, the St Pat's Maghera fans behind us, the favourite chant I heard is "Ooh-ah Maghera, ooh-ah Maghera," and going by the scoreline 1-3 to 2 points, it looks comfortable enough.
Yeah, it looks comfortable enough, and they're playing against the breeze now. It just looked like there's a bit of rain coming down now. Maybe that'll change it a bit in the second. And Enniskillen will be disappointing. They look nervous in themselves. Maghera are by far the better side. It's interesting to watch the way they play. They're working the ball quickly out of defence, and they're kicking the ball. They're really playing like Crossmaglen play. They're not playing maybe like we normally see a Derry team playing. They're kicking diagonal ball, long ball, early ball, and they've got big men inside. And the other interesting thing about them is their ability to interchange players, particularly the full forward and the centre forward. So it's very, very hard for defenders to cope with that there, especially at this level and this age, because you say to yourself, will you go or do you stay, and can you get word out to the sideline what to do? Yeah, Maghera have been by far the better side and should be further ahead, Austin.
It's been a low-scoring MacRory Cup Final by Ulster College's standards. Why is that, do you think?
Maybe a bit of nerves and everything else, excitement. There's a big crowd here, and so it's first time for a lot of them to play in front of a big crowd not there. I just think, I mean, looking at Maghera have kicked someone like 9 wides and maybe another ball, at least one into the goalkeeper's hands, and St Michael's have kicked about 5 wides or something like that. So look, that's the way it happens. The players you expect to perform well coming into this final is the ones that don't normally perform well. So it's the way it is. I suppose if you're able to play the match afterwards, I met Aaron Kiernan there now, and I was just asking him about that goal chance that he said, I don't know why I didn't deliver the ball. He said, I was going to give it and take it back, and I got caught in 2 minds. So even in, you know, for experienced players, big games, these things happen.
Well, if it remains a low-scoring final, then maybe goals are going to be crucial. How important do you think Gerard Bradley's finish for Maghera might be?
Yeah, and it sums up the game as well. Not alone the Bradley finish, but we see the movement here. It's worked right up the field. They normally do kick past the ball, but it's a great sign of a team that can vary the ball when they need to. You must remember now, the 2 wing half-backs were involved in that attack, and goes into Gerard Bradley. No important he is to them. I mean, he started today, even though he wears the number 20 jersey, and finished it really well. I mean, good sign of a player able to finish it. It's interesting, you know, the amount of players involved. They get the runners off the shoulder, and I think the big thing in the first half is what I've said earlier on, Austin, is the ability of them to vary their game. We see even when the high ball into the full forward line, got men able to win it, and this man Bradley again, proving his ability, you know, was important for them to have him. I know he scored, it was in the quarter-final, he got the point, the winning point in the quarter-final. He got 3 points in play in the second half in that match, and he scored the winning point in the final. I know he's very, very important today, and they're physically stronger than St Michael's, and, you know, and the conditions and everything else makes a difference.
Well, on that point, television doesn't always show how big these guys are in the flesh, but we've been watching the St Pat's Maghera captain, Conor McAtamney. He's a young guy, but he's a big fella.
He's a big man, and he gets around the pitch, and he's really working hard. See him here, the ability to put the ball in. That's kind of a quality ball played in front of a forward. That's a forward. It's a dream pass for a forward, moved on to, and they lay off to the runners coming through. Very, very well coached team. I know Sean Marty Lockhart is involved with them and everything. You can see it in their play so far in the first half. That's the ability where we see it there, where they just moved Conor Murphy inside the full forward line and took Niall McNichol outside, you know, out to the half forward line. Their ability to do that. But I think the 2 big players, we see him here again, leading by example in the middle of the field, Conor McAtamney. And the other thing is their 2 wing half backs, Rogers and O'Doherty, have got forward, you know, when they move that. The way they play the football, just see the physical strength of them, busting forward there. It's got that ability. They're a very physically big team. We know Derry are favourites probably to win the Ulster Minor this year. Already Glen have won the Ulster Minor Club. So very, very strong. And I mean, definitely Derry football's on the up of what we've watched here today.
So if you were Dom Corrigan in the St Michael's Enniskillen changing room, I mean, how can you repair the damage, do you think?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wouldn't like to be Dom at the minute. It's a difficult one. You're playing against elements in the second half, and it's very hard when you can't win the ball in that midfield area, particularly picking up the breaks and everything else. And, you know, Courtney was a big player coming into the thing. He's been well marshalled. They're able to drop Maghera, able to drop a player back. What do? I think you have to change your game this half and maybe run the game more rather than trying to get early quality ball into the full forward line. Maybe use the running game and get the runners. And I mean, say to yourself, look, you have nothing to lose at this stage. Let's go at them. The first 10 minutes the second half. It's going to be very important. And some teams in Gaelic football, Austin, teams play better against the breeze, particularly forwards, because the ball's dropping in front of them rather than when you're with the breeze, it goes in over the top. And looking like Maghera kicked a lot of silly balls in the first half, silly wide. So maybe it's easier sometimes to play against the one. They'll be hoping that in the Enniskillen dressing room.
Mind you, the breeze is picking up here at the moment, so it will have an effect in this second half, that is for sure. Right, let's show you highlights of the first of final played here at the Athletic Grounds earlier today. It was the Ulster B Colleges final, very important for these two schools, the McLaren decider between St Paul's of Bestbrook and St Colum's of Derry. Denise Watson is your reporter here.
St Paul's had some unfinished business with regard to the McLaren, beaten finalists last year. But their opponents, St Colum's, were certainly up for the challenge, having battled hard in a replay against St Pat's Downpatrick to book their place in this final. St Colum's opened the scoring with a free from Emmett McBride. Barely a minute had passed before they struck again. Another free, this time from the boot of James McClay. The only goal of the game came courtesy of St Paul's midway through the first half. Connor Sloane's well-taken free fell for Ryan McCabe, who found the net. Keeper Michael Lynch tried his best to keep it out, but to no avail. A further goal chance followed, Gregory McCabe setting up Kieran O'Hanlon 4 minutes later. Free-taker Connor Sloane was impressive throughout. This open play effort gave St Paul's a 1-1 to 2-point lead. The Derry School levelled proceedings thanks to some confident free-taking from McBride and McClay. One of the best scores in the first half came from St Paul's captain Michael Murphy, the Clevey man showing confidence and skill beyond his years to make it 1-3 to 4 points. St Colum's fought hard to claw back points though. James McClay was denied a goal by a super block. But Emmett McBride kept them in the contest with a free just before the whistle, 1-3 to 5 points at half-time. 9 minutes passed in the second half before either school registered a score. Kieran O'Hanlon's free put St Paul's ahead by 1-4 to 5 points. And O'Hanlon showed his versatility 4 minutes later with this effort. St Colum's certainly fought hard for the goal. Ryan Moore's attempt was blocked, but Mark Brennan salvaged a point. And his teammate Owen Devine was very unlucky not to find the net moments later. The Bestbrook School regularly rely on Connor Sloane for frees, and he never let them down today, converting another on 50 minutes for a 1-6 to 6 point lead. St Colum's last frantic scramble for a goal saw Ryan Moore and Ryan McCluskey combine, but time, to be truthful, was running out for them at this stage. St Paul's introduced Jamar Hall for the final few minutes, and he certainly made his presence felt. This classy point of Hall's effectively put the game beyond the Derry School, 1-8 to 6 points. How fitting though that Connor Sloane had the final touch of the game, and just look at how much it meant to him. 110 to 6 points final score. Last year's beaten finalists St Paul's finally get their hands on the MacRory Cup.
That was Michael Murphy lifting the all-new MacRory Cup early on. This is a brand new MacRory Cup and it's going back to St Paul's Bestbrook. Michael joins me now along with the rest of the squad. I'm surrounded by them. Michael, what does it mean to bring that trophy back to Bestbrook?
Well, it's a great honour for the players, management and school. Everyone's been working on it this last few years to try to get to the top. Moving into the MacRory now, and it's just a great honour.
What was the difference today?
Just the work rate, that bit more. Getting beat last year, everyone had a bit more grit to try to get back into this year and make sure we've done the job.
John Rafferty was the manager. John, how much of a bearing did last year have?
Well, I think the fellas have reacted very positively to last year. When we come back in September, we let the dust settle on the minor championship at home, and these fellas have worked extremely hard. There's lots of days when the school was empty and all the other youngsters were off, and they were in doing occasionally very tough training sessions, but they didn't stop working. They kept going. instilled a wee bit of belief in themselves now that they were perhaps missing this time last year. But very, very proud of them. They've delivered for the school today.
I have to ask you, John, I mean, you've managed at the highest level, at club level. You've been part of inter-county management teams. What makes it special managing a school?
Well, I think the key to the whole thing is when we come into the colleges, some people sort of raised an eyebrow perhaps that we were in it, whereas now they're saying that when people come in to give us a game, they know that they're going to have to play well to beat us, because what we make up for in finesse, we add on a wee bit of hard work for it.
Michael, describe this squad. You're surrounded by them. You're the leader. You're the captain. Describe them.
There's not much describing these boys. Their face tells it all. Bunch of agents, if you ask me. Put in the work, and that's the main thing. Got there in the end. Well done, lads.
Yeah! Gentlemen, enjoy tonight. Austin, apparently, according to their captain, they're just a bunch of agents.
Yeah! Well, I'm sure Kalivi GA Club.
St Michael's Enniskillen have made their way out. Looks like hand something to Cuthbert Donnelly there. Maybe they too have made a change. We will confirm the substitutions, but definitely Conor Convery is in, and it is time for music in Enniskillen. They need the mood music. Aurori Studeri Ageri is the motto: to pray, to study and to act. Well, now is the time to act in the interests of balance. And Pats Maghera, Fon Sapienti Verbum Dei, the source of knowledge is the word of God, and will that be the source of yet more scores from Conor Convery? Oisín, you're an inspirational man. Where's it going to come from for St Michael's?
Well, you know, Martin made a good point at half-time. I think maybe they need to hold on the ball a little bit more. I think they've had no success when they've pumped the ball in, you know, direct. St Pats Maghera have had a huge amount of success when they put the ball in direct. Enniskillen maybe need to hold on to that a little bit longer.
Ryan Dugan is holding on to it. Ryan Dugan wants and gets support from Stephen O'Hara. Stephen O'Hara is Pats Maghera come looking for the opening score of this half. That was their centre half into the full forward, well charged down there by Niall Shannon. Shannon giving it to Niall Maguire. Niall Maguire down the line to Niall Shannon, who's continuing his run, bundled out over the sideline, and the ball will go the way of St Michael's Enniskillen.
Obviously, you know, from the scoreboard, you know that both defences are on top, but some of the defensive play has been very, very good. You know, we talk about the lack of quality, but some of the defensive play has been very, very good from both teams early on.
Brian McAleer offloaded it to Sheikh Cullen. Sheikh Cullen, well, it was more of a hit and hope, and it's actually hopefully fallen for, I think that's is it Niall Beggan? And it was Niall Maguire, was it? Let's just take a look again. No, it's actually a second half sub, Oisín. They have introduced Lee Jones. That's Lee Jones who's come in. So there is a substitution in St Michael's Enniskillen also.
He did well. He was sharp. He come on the ball, and definitely a free kick in front of the goals. And you know, this will put 3 points between the teams again. And even though St Pats Maghera have been very, very dominant, you know, you would have to say that, you know, with 3 points in it, and Enniskillen playing with a huge breeze in the second half, you would say that will put them right back in the game.
We were looking at younger brother of the captain. He too has been introduced. Joe McQuillan has been having a word with the umpires to determine what course of action might need to be taken. Here's St Michael's Enniskillen 2 points, and Pats Maghera 1 goal and 3 points 2 minutes into the second half. Joe McQuillan is simply telling I think it was Cormac O'Doherty to calm down just a little bit. This is Eddie Courtney, another of the vice captains, his dad Philip, as I was saying, from the 82 team. So this to put 3 between them, and never really in doubt. Oisín, it would be concerning with 32 minutes on the clock that they've yet only managed 1 score from open play.
Yeah, you know, it is. Well, we suppose we've had the goal, we've had 1 score, both from Gerard Bradley in the first half. But one thing, you know, we talk about Maghera, and they have been dominant. They've been dominant in the middle of the field. They've been dominant all over the field. But still 3 points in the game, and you know, Enniskillen are still right there. So we're in for an exciting second half, hopefully.
We are looking at confirmation of that second substitute. Lee Jones back on his feet after that heavy tackle. That was well pucked out of the skies by big Ryan Dugan, and Dugan spins away with Niall Maguire after him. Dugan's ball is a good one for the captain, Conor McAtamney. McAtamney bundled out of it by Sheikh Cullen, and the combination of Cullen and Kevin MacDonald eventually doing enough. Ball was touched on the ground, says the referee, and this will be a free the way of St Pats Maghera. taken by Stephen O'Hara. O'Hara's ball looks for the first half goal scorer. Did brilliantly to win it. Gerald Bradley. Still Gerald Bradley has men over. Will he go alone? Bradley! Oh, the block came in. It was Shea Cullen, and the follow-up should have gone to the back of the net. It is just drifted wide. Scintillating little passage of play, Oisín, and it could have ended up in the back of the net, and I think the final touch might have come from Neil McNichol, but it's gone wide.
Yeah, it was brilliant skill from Gerard Bradley, and I think, you know, in fairness to Neil McNichol, he was very unlucky. You know, he threw a leg at it, and he was very unlucky just past the left-hand upright.
Yeah, and to be fair to the keeper, Paddy Sweeney, he made the target's ball, was quick to come off his line. Here come Maghera again. This is Paul Gunning, who obviously is still on the field of play, so apologies to Paul, we thought you'd maybe made your way. Paul Gunning wins the free, and this free in a fairly scoreable position. It will be taken by Stephen O'Hara, 17-year-old from the Glen. He missed the quarter-final, incidentally, because of a hamstring, and landed one in the 10th minute from the dead ball. You would fancy him from here, Oisín?
Well, it's a tough kick into the wind, outside of the boot. Difficult skill.
You're
on the best
absolutely
of
right. But I know when it is into the wind, and it was a difficult one. Actually, Shea Cullen deserves praise for the saving of the saving tackle there.
Yeah, him and his brother has been magnificent so far, in fairness to them.
Yeah. Almost 35 minutes on the clock. St Michael's Enniskillen 3 points. St Patrick's Maghera 1 goal and 3. In truth, Pats Maghera should be a great deal further ahead. They have met just the once in a game, a friendly, if you like, this year. A challenge game which ended in a draw. Brendan Rodgers. Oh, good ball from Rodgers. They've done well to present from it, and there are no numbers in the front of the jersey. I wasn't quite sure who it was to give that one in any event. It's going to be broken up by Niall Shannon, and Niall Shannon concedes the sideline ball to be taken by Maghera, and it will be taken by Neil McNichol. He's 6'2", he's 13 stone, he's from Glenolin. And actually his brother Owen, I think, kept goal for Maghera in 03 when they last won it. Gets it back, O'Hara. Brendan Rodgers, 3 shots in the first half, and decides it's the better option is to give it off to McNichol. McNichol, you can see the breeze again having an impact. This is now the captain, Rory Brennan. Rory Brennan being backtracked by Rand Dugan and double teamed, and eventually it was Neil McNichol who saw him dispossessed, and there's a little bit of afters going on. Just break it up quickly, lads. That's all that's required.
Yeah, all the harm was enough, but Enniskillen did really well at the back there again. I think, you know, Shea Cullen, Niall Shannon, they've all done really, really well. And yeah, it was a bit of 6 of one and half a dozen of another, but I think Enniskillen probably deserved the free.
Bit of a grapple, Oisín. It's now with Tommy McCaffrey. Dan Arthur, the captain in 82. It's over, I think.
Yeah, some score, and for a young fella, Tommy McCaffrey, in fairness to him, he hasn't really been in the game, and you know, to get that swinging onto his left leg and swing it over the bar.
Aaron Gales in Bleak.
2-point game.
He's popped it over the top, and it's a much
quality
better
score.
Second half. Great score, Oisín, yeah.
Quality score.
Only their second from play. St Michael's Enniskillen 4 points. The scoreboard, by the way, folks, is wrong. It should be St Michael's Enniskillen 4 points. St Patrick's Maghera 1 goal and 3 points. Fouled away of St Pat's Maghera. I think it was climbing, was it? Or she maybe hand and shoulder. Certainly whatever breeze there is most definitely with St Michael's Enniskillen. That was Paul Gunning who had come for it. Gunning too close to the ball, so this will be moved forward the required distance, and it will still be St Michael's. They're very much in it, Oisín, with the wind on the backs. I tell you what, St Pat's Maghera are going to do well to squeeze through this.
They're very, very much in it, and I think, you know, Enniskillen are hugely on top in a lot of areas, you know, the start of the second half. I think those changes, in fairness, you know, have stood to them.
This is the captain, Rory Brennan. Wins the free. This was the reason, Oisín. Yeah, he just grappled it to the ground, didn't he?
Yeah, it's definitely a free kick.
Free kick to be taken by Brian McAleer. Brian McAleer has ballooned it, and it's their first word of the second half. It's their 6th wide in total.
In fairness to Brian, you know, that's a couple he's wasted, and you know, that really is really ambitious from way out in the wing, and I don't care how strong the wind is. You know, that was ambitious and probably better Sheriff maybe trying to get some of his forwards into the game. I think, you know,
that's
Eddie
Mrs.
Courtney's...
Cullen, mum of the twins. Darcy, and I'll just interrupt you there. She is a teacher, actually, Mum Mary, in Belnalek, and you can be proud of your boys. This is the block, and
again, great skill from Jared Bradley, and unlucky from Neil McDougall.
And Shea Cullen quick off the line. So too was Mark Sweeney. This is stalemate in the middle. It's been won in there by big Ryan Hyde. Ryan Hyde eventually sees the ball spill loose. It will be St. Pat's Maghera takes it quickly. Just Conor McAtamney. McAtamney gives it into Jared Bradley. Bradley then lays off. It's one for Paul Gunning to chase. Good football, well read by Niall Shannon. Niall Shannon has done well to keep it. He's a no-nonsense centre half, isn't he, Oisín?
Yeah, he's had a really, really good game. You know, and Enniskillen have needed to be really, really good at the back because, you know, Maghera at times have dominated possession.
Better football by St. Michael's. They have dominated these opening exchanges, these opening 9.5 minutes or so in this second half. Yet to dominate on the scoreboard. This is young Maguire. Works as a journalist, has been spending time in the Gaelic life. They've given it off to the centre half forward lane. Martin, up goes the left hand. There's one between them.
Yeah, and in fairness, you know, whatever possession Enniskillen have had in the second half, they've certainly made the most of it. And, you know, this time, you know, they took the right option all the time. You know, they recycled the ball, got it to the man who's in the best position, and eventually, you know, little Niall Maguire in the game again. Get it to the centre half forward, Liam, and he knocks it over bar. Great score.
It's 3 scores on the bounce for St. Michael's.
It is, and it's a 1-point game. And you know, we've talked a lot about Maghera, and you know, especially first 5 minutes of the second half, and yet there's only a point between the teams.
Yeah. Gerald Bradley, the last man to score for Maghera, and that was in the 25th minute. So they now have gone 15 minutes without raising a white flag. There was a little push in the back, not spotted by the referee there. The push was from James Carney. James Carney sees St. Michael's win possession. It's given in off the boot of Liam Martin, who just landed that point. Going to be picked up the win there by the full back line. I think that was Brendan Rogers who emerged with it. That was certainly the captain who's given it off. Conor McAtamney continues his run. McAtamney wants a little bit of support, and he's been forced to punt long. Well held on to by Paul Gunning. Paul Gunning now gives it down into the path of Jared Bradley. Bradley, Gunning's continued his run, will take a shot, and I think the wind's caught it and it's gone wide. And it's probably difficult, Oisín, to explain to people who are watching back home just how stiff the breeze is into that goal, but you nearly need to be shooting from inside the 20-metre line.
Yeah, you certainly need to get inside the D, you know, in order to get an opportunity. I think on that occasion, you know, in fairness to Paul Gunning, you know, slightly unlucky, but you have to say that, you know, playing into that breeze, the breeze has certainly picked up in the second half, and it is difficult playing into that breeze.
Confirmation of 11th wide for St. Pat's Maghera. 42 minutes nearly on the clock. St. Michael's Enniskillen 5 points. St. Pat's Maghera 1 goal and 3 points. St. Michael's haven't led since the first minute of this game. This is Shea Cullen. For my money, actually, he is growing and growing into this game and will be giving young Master Bradley run for his money for man of the match. Snapshot from the second half sub. That's Lee Jones, and Lee Jones sticks it wide.
Unlucky, great ball in. You know, broken down. You know, it was another great chance for Lee, but unfortunately, he just knocked it wide. And as forwards, we tend to kick an odd one wide.
I can tell you that off camera, Dominic McFall is warming up. He's from the Balahi club for St. Michael's Enniskillen. That's him there. So they're thinking of bringing another change. Every game they've played this year, League and in MacRory, they've used the full complement of 20 players, Oisín, and they will do that this time round, I would imagine. Kick out has been taken, contested in midfield. Liam Martin wins it ahead of Conor McAtamney. St. Michael's energised, enervated, and as I say that, the momentum has been taken out of them by that full back line from St. Pat's Maghera. Well held on into there by Stephen O'Hara. Stephen O'Hara's ball into the corner. Great tackle by the other Cullen brother, Lee Cullen. The both brothers, Oisín, they're former cross-country runners, and you can tell they're just so full of running.
Yeah, they're very, very athletic, and you know, they're so quick at getting that hand in. You know, they've been very, very impressive so far, along with probably Maghera's best player, probably Conor McAtamney, who today is playing centre half back.
Yeah, well, Gerald Bradley's been right up there too, but I know how you like to pick a defender as your favorite. This is Stephen O'Hara's ball. I think has it gone out for 45 or has it gone? It's gone wide.
Square ball, I think the keeper did.
Oh, he did. You're right, actually. Apologies. Well, that's a poor kick out given straight to Stephen O'Hara, and O'Hara's ball over the top for the full forward, and he couldn't quite hold on to it. Neil McNichol, for a brief second, had a goal opportunity there. Again, big Paddy Sweeney was quick to come off his line, and that's 2 goal opportunities that St. Pat's Maghera have had in the second half. And now this one wasn't as clear cut. We're looking at the referee, but just here, Oisin, from the kick out, I thought there was a sniff of a chance for the full forward.
Yeah. He just sort of took his eye off the ball at the last minute.
Had he caught it,
I think, yeah.
But to be fair to Paddy Sweeney, if you saw 16 or 17 stone come at you,
maybe a good decision to have a second look.
He has a backside on him like Benny Tierney's.
It's not that, I don't think it's that big, Mark, in fairness.
No offence, Benny. So McNichol has been withdrawn, and I think Dominic McFall has been introduced for St. Pat's Maghera. St. Pat's Maghera are now in possession. They are in possession with Cormac O'Doherty, who's laid it off now to his captain, Conor McAtamney, who's probably handled the ball more than anyone on the pitch today. That's James Kearney giving it back to McAtamney. Everything being funneled through him, and that's asking a whole lot of the young man who's just been introduced. Dominic McFall will not get there. He'll not get there ahead of Niall Shannon. Shannon's been outstanding in these last 15 or 20 minutes. Shannon has now given into the path of... I think that's... is it Lee Brennan? It is Lee Brennan. Oh, big tackle got on him. Lovely hit by the captain, and legitimately, and both captains clatter and collide, and it's Rory Brennan who comes off the worst of the two. It was an indication, Oisin, of just how hungry both sides remain, and just 1 point between them, but a decent little passage of play. Big hit coming in here.
Yeah, it's competitive, and remember that Lee Brennan, I think he's only 15 years of age, playing in his first MacRory Cup Final, so it's a big hit for him to take, but you can see how physically strong Conor McAtamney and also how determined he is, to try and get his team over the line.
Well, Liam Martin's about to pick up a card. He's already on a yellow. Yeah. This will be a red. They will be down to 14 men. He's gone. He is gone, and I think that was for the foot trip, was it? But he's gone, and it's a horrible, horrible day for anyone, not least in a colleges final. Let's take a look again, Oisin, just here. Now, that was a foot trip. If he was sent off for that, that is severely harsh.
Yeah, I think it's harsh. I think actually, when we look back on his booking in the first half, I think it was slightly harsh as well.
Yeah,
so
I mean...
Enniskillen up against it now.
Well, it was the linesman he consulted with. This is St. Pat's Maghera. This is Ryan Dugan. Dugan checks onto the right foot. He had a man in space screaming for it. He was Stephen O'Hara, but across came little Owen Hamill. Now, Maghera retained possession. They retained possession through Bradley. That's the shot coming in, and it's going to hang there. Keeper just fumbled it ever so slightly, and did well to recover. He's very much the character on this team. This is a little man who shipped a big heavy tackle as he came in, Lee Jones. Lee Jones has given it down the line to Niall Maguire. Niall Maguire, they call him Skinner. Skinner attempting to get away from Conor Carville. Good football, giving it back inside, continued the run. Niall Carville, well, he'd nowhere to go, and I think he's a bit lucky, Oisin, to have brought the free. Just...
As a forward, you want that free kick. He looked as if he was quite lucky. Yeah, it was a great run, 1-2 all the way.
Right, look what I tell you. I want to tell you a quick story about him. I know it's Andy May. She lives in Belfast, and she says, whatever you do, do not mention that at 5 years old I took him to see Santa in Lapland, and there was a big long queue, and he walked up to the front of the queue and he was, hello Santa, I'm Niall and I'm from Fermanagh, can you give me a pair of boots? So I told her I wouldn't tell that story. Anyway, Niall, you did well there to win your free, and Auntie May sends her love, and these guys just anxious. I think he can feel very hard done by this.
I think so. I think Liam Martin was very unfortunate, to see 2 yellows. It hasn't been a dirty game. It hasn't been a dirty tackling. It's been played in, a great atmosphere. I think. In fairness to both teams, they've just got on with the game.
Yeah. There. This is Eddie Courtney to bring them level. Yeah, and he's done it. That's his third score, and that's them level for the first time since the 5th minute. It is St Michael's Enniskillen 6 points, St Patrick's Maghera 1 goal and 3 points. 4 points unanswered in the second half from St Michael's Enniskillen. This was that was the first booking, and that was a bit harsh. And this is the second one. He just caught his foot. I mean,
it looks as if it may have been accidental. I don't know. That's up for the referee.
Yeah, had it have been rugby, fair enough, stick him in the sin bin. But in a GAA, an entirely different rule.
Especially when it's not a dirty game, Mark. I think that's the key.
Look, Oisin, I hate to say this, but there was a hand raised in the first half and there wasn't even a card shown for it. To pick up a yellow card for that is severely harsh. This is big Ryan Hyde. And he's won the free.
Yeah, and he's a handful if he comes running at you. 6'6". If he comes running at you, there's only one thing he can do. You let him past you, pull him down. To pull him down in that occasion is another opportunity for Eddie Courtney to unbelievably put St Michael's Enniskillen into the lead.
And this is Conor Gallagher, who's not on a yellow but will be now, so he picks up one. Eddie Courtney to put them ahead. It's over. They lead for the first time since the first minute. 5 second half scores. St Michael's Enniskillen 7 points. St Pat's Maghera 1 goal and 3 points. And here comes the bouncy, Oisin.
Yeah, I think, and in fairness to Eddie Courtney, he's kicked his free as well. I know he's with the win in the second half, but that's a crucial free and a little bit of pressure on him. In fairness to him.
Up goes the finger, but more significantly, up went the white flag, and there goes the Congo Bongo.
Poznan, I think they call that one.
Now then, Maghera come looking for the first score off this second half through James Kearney. James Kearney well held up by Rory Brennan. Oh, what a captain's roll. Oh, he kicked out at him there and fouled him. And if he's consistent, this will be a yellow card. Joe McQuillan will come back to that, I think, but I mean, what a turnover of possession there from the captain Rory Brennan. That's Maghera who are in possession with Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher needs to be careful. Oisin, I'd love to see that again. How can you send a guy off with a second yellow card for a foot trip, and then that last one where basically there was a kick and not admonished?
Yeah, the consistency just doesn't seem to be there, but unfortunately that's referees, Mark. We're just going to have to put up with it.
It's just a bit frustrating. And it must
if it's frustrating to look at it, you can imagine what it's like for players.
This is Eddie Courtney who's come out. This is a long way out, but he has the breeze, Oisin.
Yeah, it's ambitious though.
And so is he. He's got ice in his veins, I can tell you. And he's got radar in his boot. I had a great chat with him down there in the school, and he is cheeky in the nicest sense of the word, little cheeky smile and very cocky and very confident, but a lovely fella, and what a weaker of a
Well, you have to be confident. I suppose the fact that he has kicked 4 points already, he's got that confidence up, and what an excellent kick from all of 55 yards, and certainly only seems to be one team in the game at the minute that owning the ball at the middle of the field, and when they go up front they look dangerous as well, and if you foul them, Eddie Courtney kicked the ball over the bar.
And just a slight correction, he's actually kicked 5. I know that I've got the notes in front of me, so I can check that. But 5 points. And Maghera again in control with O'Hara. This is still Stephen O'Hara. They really, really need to raise a white flag. Second half is 21 minutes old and they have not scored. It has been all St Michael's Enniskillen, and it's tough tackling. I think he threw the ball away there, did James Kearney. Anyway, St Michael's Enniskillen get it. I think he was stood on just then. A referee, you can see, has been told by his linesman that something has happened. He's going to have a word with Stephen O'Hara. No, he's waiting. It's very obvious that now. Let's just see. Down he goes. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. So there was nothing that I could see, Austin.
No, I think we're just going to get on with the game. Thank God. Maghera really struggled to get in the score sheet in the second half.
James Kearney here, and James Kearney's not on a yellow, so it looks like he will be now. He's safe to stay on.
As I say, Mark, Maghera really need to raise a white flag at this stage.
Courtney to Owen Hamill to Eddie Courtney again. Courtney playing a much deeper role. That's the cornerback, Kevin MacDonald. Kevin MacDonald, a great block got in there. It came off Gareth McInnes. McInnes was back helping out. This is their centre half, Conor Carville. Carville has continued his run now. Good tackling, but strong from Carville. Now has a support runner. It's Ryan Dugan. Ryan Dugan cuts back inside. They do have men out wide right. If they go wide right, I think that was the wrong option to go left. It's going to be picked up in there by Dominic McFall. And McFall just being harried out of it there by Niall Shannon. Shannon sees the ball spill kindly for Ryan Dugan. Around one, around two. He's been held up. That's a foul. Surely that was a foul. Dispossessed. Joe McQuillan. Well, Joe's refereeing, not me, and he allowed play to continue there. But from where I was, that looked like there was a pull back there.
Well, he had to give a decision one way or the other. It was either over carrying or it was, it was a foul, and he didn't give anything.
Well, listen to the protest. We might get another look. I thought there was a definite hand come in to pull back there, and because he's remonstrating with the referee, it looks like Stephen O'Hara is going to pick up a yellow card. Now, I have a sympathy for Stephen O'Hara here because I think there was a foul twice on him in the build-up to this. Just look here now. What? No. Oh, that right. So hold on. No, that's what he was. That's what he was got the yellow card for. Apologies to Joe McQuillan. There's no question about that. But I thought the player was fouled earlier on. The yellow card entirely justified. There was a little push in the back there, and he spotted it. Little push in the back from Lee Cullen. But it was the incident prior to that, Oisín, I thought, where the Maghera forward was fouled and it wasn't blown.
Yeah, and you're probably right. It probably was a foul, but Joe didn't give it, so play ensued, and Stephen O'Hara ended up with a yellow card, probably deservedly so.
Taken by Stephen O'Hara. It's been won by the centre half back, Niall Shannon, and Niall Shannon in turn has been dispossessed. It's all got a little frantic. It's Conor McAtamney who's given it out now to Conor Convery. Conor Convery has at last won the free, and with 26 minutes of the second half gone, they've taken it short, given it across to Stephen O'Hara. Stephen O'Hara takes the shot, and Stephen O'Hara sticks it over the top for what is only their first score of the second half. St Michael's Enniskillen 8 points. St Patrick's Maghera 1 goal and 4 points, and they have had to work hard for it, Oisín.
They have, and Conor Convery took the free kick, very quickly there, when may not have been the right option, but give it to Stephen O'Hara, and he made sure he put it over the bar. So great score, gets Maghera right back in the game.
Oh, well won by Big Ryan Hyde. For the record, should this end in a draw, the replay will be here on Wednesday evening, 7:30 in the Athletic Grounds. I still feel that the winning of it is with St Michael's in terms of momentum, Oisín.
It is, and in fairness to Big Ryan Hyde, he's really come into the game in the second half, and he's owned the ball in the middle of the field.
Courtney's ball. Keeper must come off his line, and does. Sean McNichol. 3.5 minutes remaining, plus whatever time there might be added on. Conor McAtamney he's been blown. And this is it was a push, I think, Oisín, wasn't it?
I think it was a hand in the face of Niall Maguire.
Oh, yeah. Would have been a handoff in rugby, but it was a handoff into the face. And why we have this break and play, Oisín? For my money, Enniskillen have really stepped it up in the second half. You look to the likes of Niall Shannon, Shea Cullen, but also Eddie Courtney withdrawing. His ball distribution has scored again. This was the foot trip for the yellow card. And then this was the other one where I'm going, right there. No, he kicked out.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
I don't know what the difference is.
Why was that not a yellow card?
Ask the referee that.
Courtney.
6 points for Eddie Courtney, and you're right, he has played a much more withdrawn role in the second half. He's got himself into the game, he's got himself on the ball, and he's made things happen for Enniskillen, in fairness.
Yeah, and they lead by 9 points to 1 goal and 4. That's 9 points to 7. Courtney's 6th. I think it will fall to Martin and the boys maybe to name the man of the match. Difficult enough job. Not over yet. 2 points can always be a dangerous lead. O'Hara with the ball. Can he keep possession? This is Conor Convery. Conor Convery has given it to Gerald Bradley. Bradley, that's an outrageously difficult angle. He's gone for it. Oh, it's kept in. It's well kept in if he can do something with it. He's going to go back to his captain, whose captain is Conor McAtamney. Conor McAtamney. Oh, that's Shea Cullen. What a block down. He has been immense. So too has Eddie Courtney. Look at Courtney back there doing an Oisin McConville or a Martin Penrose, whatever way you want to put it. Gives it now to the runner. The runner is now Maguire. It's Maguire's ball, and I think it's just going to spill out over the sideline. We've only got 1 minute remaining, Oisin, plus whatever time there is to be added on. Keep possession.
Well, I think keep possession from St Michael's Enniskillen point of view. You can see what Maghera is trying to do, to try and isolate a man in front of the goals, and I think they realise at this stage it's going to take a goal to win this game.
Whoa, there will be 3 minutes of injury time. This is Garth McKinless. Garth McKinless gets it back. He was held up. There was a neat little tackle in there. The tackle came from Niall Shannon. Shannon sees the ball go to ground. Joe McQuillan has sounded his whistle. This will be free. We are into the last minute of play. 2 points separate them. Not quite sure who it is who's kicking it. I think it might well be Gerald Bradley. It is Gerald Bradley. So Gerald Bradley to put one between them. 3 minutes of time to be added on. Bradley. He's put it wide. He's put it wide. He was the man of the first half, but the second half, let me give you this stat. Second half, St Michael's Enniskillen have outscored St Patrick's Maghera by 7 points to 1. And that's why they're leading by 2 points.
Exactly, but I think also, in fairness, they have put the reins on Gerald Bradley, and I think, in fairness to Dominic Corrigan, and he seems to have got his tactics right. He's withdrawn Eddie Courtney out, and in fairness, they've owned the ball in the middle of the field.
Peter Cassidy, son of Damien, has been introduced. I think it's possession is now vital, and I think somewhere or other Maghera need to find a goal. Ryan Hyde rises, the ball will spin I think it's in there for little Niall Maguire. Well done, Master Maguire. Come on now, that was a little bit daft. There wasn't much momentum in it, but Conor Carville, Niall Maguire went down. Conor Carville had lifted his hand, and we can see it just in a moment. But let's stay with the play, and let's stay with Lee Jones. Lee Jones has rounded his marker. Lee Jones has taken the shot. Lee Jones has seen it come off the upright. Falls for Ryan Hyde. Ryan Hyde gives it back outside. Oh, lovely little block down. It's now in the arms of Oisin Hegarty. Oisin Hegarty giving it outside to Garth McKinless. Garth McKinless, and there's one last hurrah. We are into the 62nd minute. There's about a minute and a half remaining. Maghera trailed by 2. They are looking for a 13th title. They are down by 2. Back inside it goes to Cassidy. Cassidy now picks out O'Hara. O'Hara sees it. There are men over left and right, and the ball should have been given across. I think that was an attempt at a shot rather than a cross. I
think he may have tried to cross those 2 men at the back post. He may have tried to cross it to them, but it probably wasn't the right option. They did have enough time maybe to kick a point and hopefully get another.
And let's take a look at this. Watch. That's a punch.
Yeah, well, it's a yellow card at least. It definitely is a yellow card, and if there's any consistency, he definitely would have got a yellow, if not a red.
Yeah, he's been very lucky, Conor Carville. Very lucky.
Ryan Hyde has been absolutely brilliant in the second half.
He has.
I know he's a huge man, but he's won an awful lot of ball in the middle of the field.
And they've won the MacRory Cup. We're into that final minute now. It's 62 minutes remaining. St Michael's
just need to hold on to the ball, Mark.
7 of them coming in the second half. Arguably the player of the second half, Courtney, and as I say that, he had been dispossessed by Garth McKinless. Gets it back still. Courtney has the man over. The man over is the brother of the captain, Lee Brennan, and Lee Brennan.
As they say, I think that's as good as a score at this late stage. So 30 seconds.
And they're both spent. It's been an incident-ridden game, Oisin. We don't like shining a spotlight on colleges football, but well, look. It's all about who wins on the day, and that's Daniel Tague who's coming in. I have to say that the Ulster College has asked me to pass on their best wishes to Danny Murphy, the Ulster Secretary. I know you're not here today, Danny, you are recuperating, but best wishes from all here in the Armagh Athletic Grounds, as it looks like Maghera Well, it is beyond them, I think. We are into that. We've now played the entire 3 minutes of the match, and that is it. Joe McQuillan calls for the ball. There will be a maroon and white deluge. St Michael's Enniskillen have done it. Martin McConnell has seen his side beaten. Dominic Corrigan has masterminded yet another MacRory Cup, and Oisín, it'll bring back memories for you. You run a losing team, but what a remarkable look at young Al Maguire in tears. A remarkable day for them. Yeah, it is, and in fairness, you have to hand it, you know, to Dominic Corrigan and his backroom team, because they got it right second half. You know, they took Eddie Courtney out into the middle of the field. He won a huge amount of break ball. Whatever ball was being won in the middle of the field, they won it. And you know, eventually they started getting free kicks. They kicked any chance they got, and in fairness, they were more economical in front of goal than Maghera were, and essentially that was the difference. I think Maghera ended up with 13, maybe 14 wides, and unfortunately when you have days like that, Mark, you know, it's not good, and that's why they ended up in the losing side. And I'll tell you who'll probably be the happiest man out there, Liam Martin, who was sent off for that second yellow card. Ultimately, it could have cost his side. It didn't. They raised their game significantly. For me, Shea Cullen, Lee Cullen, Niall Shannon immense, Rory Brennan immense, Ryan Hyde immense. You look to the full forward line, Eddie Courtney withdrawn immense. Little Niall Maguire, he was here, he was there, he was everywhere. They deserve this. They do, because I think, you know, in fairness, you know, their attitude to the game, the work rate, you know, they never dropped their heads. I think they were down by 4, maybe even 5 points at one stage, but they never dropped their head. They kept walking away defensively. They were absolutely brilliant, and I think, you know, when they went up front, they were very good. Okay, let's hand down on the final score in this MacRory Cup Final. St Michael's Enniskillen 9 points, and Pats Maghera 1-4. Austin.
And with me is a delighted St Michael's manager, Dom Corrigan. Getting congratulations from Martin McHugh here. How did you turn that around?
Well, you know, our first half wasn't good, but we were probably happy to be only 4 down at half time. We deserved to be maybe 7, 8 points down. So I told the boys at half time we were in a better position maybe than a lot of people think. There was a good breeze there. I felt there was a 4 or 5 point breeze. I put on 2 scoring forwards at half time, young Jones and young Brennan, which helped things as well. But full credit to all the boys. These boys never know when they're beaten, and we're absolutely delighted. It's a great day for St Michael's.
To be honest, we thought you were in trouble at half-time, but clearly you didn't.
You know, you keep going until the end. I knew that we didn't play well, and I knew that we had worked very hard and we should have been playing better. And, you know, we instilled that into them at half-time. They came out in the second half, and we played some great stuff. I was just afraid of a Maghera goal there to finish, which would have killed off our good work, but thankfully not. The boys did tremendous. Full credit to the players. They were absolutely magnificent. And, you know, credit to Maghera as well. It was a tremendous game. There was nothing between the two teams, and we're just delighted to have the prize today.
Quick thought, what are you putting in the water in Lochern? MacRory Cup title today, the county team going well in Division 4 of the league. Is something happening down there?
I don't think there's anything happening. It's just hard work. And, you know, if we keep working hard, you know, we have a big game on Saturday. We're playing against the Kerry team in the All-Ireland semi-final. So we'll savour this victory, but we can't savour for too long. We have to get back down to work probably tomorrow.
Go and join the celebrations. We'll join Thomas Kane.